Mrs Simister.
Hello, Mr.
Hutchins.
Hutchins, yes, of course. Mr. Hutchins, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you, I think.
Terribly sorry. I thought you were a burglar.
Well, that's not nice, Mrs Simister. The government wouldn't like to hear you saying things like that.
Beg your pardon?
Well, calling me a burglar. I mean, just because my harrowing circumstances forced me into a life of crime, it doesn't mean to say you can keep chucking it back in my face. As the world knows, I'm going straight now, and under the provisions of the Employment Protection Act and the Job Creation Scheme, I think I'm in...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. I mean, I thought you were somebody else who still was a burglar.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant...
Good heavens, no! Oh, no, I have the highest regard for you, believe me. Your name's never off my lips, Mr.
Hutchins.
Yes,
with a H, that.
Although, you know, you have blotted your copybook a tiny bit. The office door was open just now. And not only unlocked, actually open.
Ah, well, I unlocked it during the course of my inter-office correspondence distribution. Bringing letters in. And I left it open so as I could wheel that new chair in. What I nearly did me back in getting upstairs.
Of course. The new chair.
I'll fetch it in. Hey, and if anybody comes in, don't...
I wouldn't dream of it. My Auntie Edith would never forgive me. Now then. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, the new chair. Well, that is smart, isn't it? Oh, he'll be pleased with that. Well, my husband, Arthur, he will be pleased with that. Now, may I help you take it through?
No, I'd rather you didn't, if you don't mind, Mrs Simister. I mean, well, there's no point government creating a job for me and you doing it, is there?
You're absolutely right.
But if he wants to adjust it for what they call height of lateral comfort, will you tell him to send for me? Because under the provisions of the Employment Protection Act, I'm allowed
Yes, I think he knows that. Shall I hold the door open for you? Is that allowed?
Well, as long as we're sent out.
Hello.
Hello.
Up to your old tricks, eh?
Now, Mr Fisher, you can get into serious trouble saying them sort of things.
Not as serious as you can get into, pinching furniture.
The new chair's just arrived, Charlie. He's changing them over.
Ah, hello, Alice. Playing lookout, are you?
Look, Mr Fisher, if the government can trust me, I don't see why you can't.
Ah, but I don't trust the government, do I?
Charlie, they're doing the best. Would you mind filling my vase for me, please?
Right.
It's on the desk. With water. You know, I do love to have flowers around me.
Don't tell me. Today's the day. Jennifer's on holiday and you're standing in for her.
Won't it be fun?
Well, it certainly could be.
Now, Charlie, I know you're going to make remarks about my memory, but let me tell you, honestly, it is improving. I was only telling
Arthur.
On
Friday.
No.
Saturday?
No.
Sunday?
No, on Manchester Road on the way here.
Oh.
I told him, I said there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing. 3271. It's quite all right. She got it wrong, poor dear.
Oh. Hey, that makes two poor dears. You've just given her your home number.
Oh, you're getting me all confused, Charlie.
Alice, how can you ever forgive me?
Yes, you're right, sir. Go on. Might be the same lady. I wouldn't want her to think I don't know where I am. She would think I was silly.
Lancaster and Assurance? Mrs. Who? Oh, yes, Mrs. Foster. What can I do for you? The rest of what money? Well, if that's what Mr. Harrop said it was, then that's what it was. Well, yes, of course. Yes, right. Bye. Another dissatisfied client. I paid in more than I got out. How does she think the insurance companies make their millions, for Pete's sake?
Ah, now this reminds me. Charlie, I've got something to ask you. Just a minute. Mr. Birkinshaw on Secretary Girls Friendly Society. Is he still on the second floor?
Vanished a week ago. He got a shade too friendly.
Really? Well, seems such a nice old gentleman, didn't he? Anyway, this has just come for him. If undelivered, return to Sodom and Gomorrah Book Club, Woking, Surrey. Seems hardly worth it, does it? It'll only be a Bible tract. It's not a Bible tract.
Oh, what is it?
I wouldn't like to say. Would you mind disposing of it for me, please? And don't look at it, whatever you do.
Well, as if I'd do a thing like that. I'll just lock it away.
I'll fill your balls for you.
Oh, thank you.
With water.
How nice of you.
Birkinshaw. You wicked old...
Charlie!
You called?
I think probably on second thoughts, you'd better put it in the incinerator, Mr. Birkinshaw's thingy.
Oh, yes. Yes, I think the incinerator is the best place for Mr. Birkinshaw's thingy. As a matter of fact, I will do it right now. No time like the present, is there?
You are nice.
Ah, that's what all the girls say.
Is the so-called manager in?
Good morning. No, I'm afraid he hasn't arrived yet. He's parking his car. Can I help?
No, thanks. It's the organ grinder I want, not his monkey.
Oh, well, I'm his wife. His monkey's on holiday. She's gone to
His wife, eh? Aye, I thought as much. That costume must have set you back a pretty penny.
Oh, how nice of you to say so. Do you really like it? Actually, I got it from that high-class second-hand shop behind the town hall. It was very reasonable. Do you know, I was torn between this and a lovely little...
I came here to talk about brass, not clothes.
Oh, yes. Would you like to sit down?
Not in here with every Tom, Dick and Harry walking in. I've got my reputation to think of. I don't want the world and his wife thinking I do nought else but complain.
Well, would you like to sit in my husband's office? I'm sure it won't be long.
He'd better not be.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, dear, you're all wet.
Now, that's not fair, Alice. Not when he's soaked through.
I'm afraid Mr. Fisher is indulging his peculiar sense of humour again, dear.
Never mind, dear. We've got a lovely surprise for you, haven't we, Charlie?
Have we? Oh, have we not? Wait till you see what is waiting for you in there, Arthur.
Really?
Now then, what have we been telling head office you're needing for months and months and months? Well, go on, think, dear. You wrote to the equipment department and you said, I cannot do my job properly unless I am thoroughly relaxed, and in order to relax, I need...
Ah! A woman.
Don't you woman me, young man.
Oh, dear, I forgot. This is Mrs...
Foster, 23, Abattoir Street.
And this is...
Arthur Simister. I am the manager here, madam, and you are sitting in my chair. May I ask you to vacate it?
You may ask all you like, but I'm sticking here till I get justice. What did we get back when my mother passed on? I'll tell you. A pittance. Not enough to buy the ham for the funeral tea, let alone bury her proper. And me brother, poor lad, takes a policy out with you, dies 6 months later from alcoholic poisoning, and you wouldn't pay up because he forgot to mention he was a licensed victualler. Something anybody can forget, especially in his state.
That's very true.
You keep your oar out, I haven't finished yet. I've fallen on hard times, and no wonder we're 3 at the comprehensive, and government paying them next and out for staying at school. Hardly keeps them in fags.
Could we get to the point, Mrs. Foster?
Don't worry, I'm there. I come to render me policy, and what do you give me? Less than I paid in. Less than I paid in.
But that is perfectly normal, madam.
Aye, well, I'm not perfectly normal. So, I'm staying in this chair till I get me rights. I want me premiums, what I paid in, plus 10%, and I'm not budging till I get it.
Would you excuse us a moment? I'll bring the police.
Oh, I don't think I'd do that, dear. She'll be very unpleasant.
Yeah, you don't want her shouting the odds when she's dragged out, do you? They laid her all over Bolton. Mr. Folliot wouldn't care for that, would he?
No, he certainly would. Oh, my goodness. Mr. Folliot, he's coming this afternoon. It's staff interview day. We've got to get her out of here.
Now, don't panic, dear. We'll think of something. I've got it. Just leave it to Charlie. Charlie, go and use your charm on her.
Well, if you insist. Hello, Mrs. Foster. I just thought you'd like to know that at least I'm on your side. Ah, yes. I've been trying to get a fair deal out of this firm for years, you know. So why don't we talk it over, you and me, over a little drinky, eh? My place? Yours? What do you say?
Drop dead.
She's weakening.
We're too soft in this country, you know. The Israelis would never stand for it.
Arthur, you are absolutely right. I will get in touch with Moshe Dayan. I'll tell him to alert the War Cabinet. We'll have a task force roaring through Farnworth in no time.
You're at it again, Mr. Fisher.
All right. If you don't want Moshe, what about George Arup? Well, she's one of his policyholders when all's said and done. And stop looking so worried. She can't stay in there forever. She's only human.
What on earth has happened to Harrop?
Don't upset yourself, dear. Would you like to dictate a letter? That'll calm you.
Want a bet?
Yes, it's to Mr. J. Smith.
Did you want me, Mr Simister?
I've wanted you for the past 3 hours, Harrop.
Mrs. Foster. Don't come here. She's your policyholder, you can get rid of her. She's having a sit-in because of that surrender value you paid her last night. She wants her premiums back plus 10% and a Boeing 707 to Algeria. Go on.
Hello, Mrs Foster. I understand there's some trouble.
Oh, it's you, is it? Aye, there's trouble, all right. But if you'll take my advice, you'll keep out of it. I'm not blaming you. You're a nice enough lad.
Oh, thank you.
Thick as 2 short planks, but who isn't these days? Well, don't stand there like Piffy on a rock cake. Either get us me money or up it.
She's a very stubborn lady.
Yes, but like I said, she is only human. Come on. Well, nothing left for it. We'll have to go for lunch, won't we? I fancy steak and kidney pie myself, and chips and peas and Black Forest gatto and a nice pint of best bitter and...
Sirloin steak for me with all the trimmings.
And me, and double chips.
Double chips.
Oh, just a bit of cheese, I know.
Right. Half a pound of crumbly Cheshire, eh, with new bread and best butter and spring
I don't want
onions.
all that,
Shut
right?
up. Well, we've all got to go for lunch, Mrs. Foster.
Suit yourselves. I'll still be here when you get back. I've done this before, you know. Lancaster Insurance? No, he's out at lunch at the moment. What did you want? You must be mad. I said, if you want to take a policy out with this lot, you must be mad. Where do you live? Right. Just round the corner from you, 16 Bakewell Street. Roy London fella lives there. He'll see to you. 16. And I'd get a move on if I were you. I don't like the sound of that cough.
You always beat folly up to it and resign, couldn't you?
Excuse me, Mr Simister. Sorry to interrupt you during the course of your statutory break period, but there's a potty woman sitting in your chair.
I know that, Hutchins.
Oh, is that your problem?
Yeah, Mrs. Foster, Abattoir Street, doing a sit-in in the office.
Clarice Foster? Yeah. Hey, she's well known, that one. She's bad from town hall.
Do you think you could evict her, Hutchins?
Oh, no. I'm a caretaker, not an evictor. I mean, if you want an evictor, you'll have to go down to the job centre and they'll create one for you.
Where do you think you're going, Harrop?
To the... just the...
Oh, Arthur, if he's got to go, hasn't he? Go on. Hey, I have said it before, and I will say it again. She is only human.
What's he getting at, Charlie?
Well, when she's got to go, hasn't she?
Of course she has.
Yeah, so, it's back to the office, kettle on, start whistling.
Elaine, just listen to your mother and stop interrupting. 5 o'clock, back office, walk straight through. Oh, and bring me new Catherine Cookson while you're at it. You'd better not.
Hello, Mrs Foster. How are you feeling?
All right, no thanks to you lot. You should be ashamed of them toilets of yours. They haven't seen Jay's fluid since Adam was alive.
No good. Let me have a go at her. I know a thing or two about that one. Hello, Clarice.
Oh, hello, Florence. What are you doing here?
Oh, just social, love. But I do happen to be Charlie Fisher's landlady, and I don't like having him upset, so sling your hook.
Make me love.
I wouldn't dirty me hands, love. But I would pop down to the weekly news office and tell them who it was that knocked off that copper's helmet in Bradshawgate on VE night.
And while you're at it, tell them about that GI you were with.
Everybody was with a GI, love.
Not with what he'd got tattooed on his...
Good luck, Clarice.
And you.
Another failure, eh? Oh, dear. It's 2 o'clock already, and Mr. Folliot, when's he coming down?
Do you know, I can't remember. When was it?
Well, it was in that letter from him. I gave it to you to file.
Yes, you did, dear, I remember.
Oh, good.
Now, then, where did I put it?
Oh, no. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? I've had enough. I've had more than enough. Now, listen to me, my good woman.
Lay a finger on me and it's 18 months for common assault. And believe me, I am nobody's good woman. So get yourself sat down, get on that phone and get me my money. £32.50.
Look, madam, there is no money due to you from this company. And I have interviews to conduct in this office this afternoon.
Conduct 'em then, I'm not stopping you.
I haven't even sat in my new chair yet, not once.
You're missing out, it's as hard as rock.
I remembered when Mr. Folliot's due, dear.
Yes, when?
2 o'clock is here.
What?
Good afternoon, Simister.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Foster. It's my lodge night tonight, Simister, so perhaps we could get started. I think I saw Harrop outside. Perhaps we could begin with him. Are you feeling all right?
You know Mrs. Foster?
Oh, good heavens, yes, we're old friends, aren't we? When was the last time? Preston, wasn't it?
That's right, Preston. And Liverpool before that.
Liverpool? Oh, yes, of course. My word, that was a feat of endurance, wasn't it? What, 8 days, wasn't it?
9.5. Took the fire brigade to get rid of me.
Oh, yes, of course. If I remember rightly, you didn't get your money.
I sold my story to the Sunday papers and the manager got the push.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, yes. Oh, it was most exhilarating, Simister. You would have enjoyed it immensely. Well, we must get on. We've got other things to worry about.
Have we?
Mr. Fisher, Mr. Harrop. You don't mind if we carry on, do you, Mrs. Foster?
Nay, I don't mind. I told him.
Right, Mr. Harrop. Well, I wish I could find something pleasant to say, but it is really very difficult. The district is next to the bottom in the division, and you're next to the bottom in the district.
Always a bridesmaid and never a bride. Sir?
Yes. So I suppose you are next to the bottom. Oh, heavens knows what I'm going to say to Pemberton.
Yes, well, I'm afraid that Pemberton is still in hospital, Mr. Folliot. He has been for the past 10 months.
That accounts for the fact that his figures are slightly worse than Harrop's. You're quite fit, are you, Harrop? Working strongly during the last year, have you?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's not good enough, is it?
Well, tell him. Don't just let him stand there criticising. Tell him about Dowdeswell's on short time for the past 8 months. And that strike at Watson's where they laid 'em all off. You can't expect people to take policies out with you when there's nought coming in the house. And Dowdeswell and Watson's employed 9 out of 10 on his books.
There's nothing about this in the report, Simister.
There's nothing about this in the report, Fisher.
There's nothing about this in the report, Harrop.
I didn't like saying. I thought you might think I was making excuses.
Sterling fellow. Well done. Go and fetch the next chap in, will you?
Thanks for shaving. I'm glad Mrs. Foster was here.
excellent. Yes, excellent. Simister, your chaps remind me of a film I saw on television the other night. Is it now...
The Magnificent Seven?
No.
The Dirty Dozen?
That's the one. Yes, that's it. Well, I must be off. Oh, Simister, a word of warning. The new general manager is paying a surprise visit to this office. He'll be here tomorrow morning, about 11 o'clock. Ex-Navy, stickler for discipline. Rather like me. Well, au revoir, Simister.
Yes, sir. Yes. But what about Mrs. Foster?
Oh, yes, of course. Goodbye, Mrs. Foster.
The general manager. He'll probably be bringing Mrs. Thatcher with him and Prince Charles.
Now, don't get hysterical, dear. Listen, I've had an idea. She only wants £32.50. Why don't you and Charlie give her half each?
Oh, under no circumstances. I wouldn't give that woman a penny. Not one penny.
No, me. 32.50. There's only 35 quid between me and the workhouse.
Well, you've got to do something, Charlie.
Look, she'll be out of here long before 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. She is not a camel, you know. She can't do without food. And that shopping bag of hers is empty. We will just starve her out.
There you are, love. That's what you want. You're straight through there.
Thank you.
Right.
Excuse me. Right. There you are, ma'am. Cod, chips and mushy peas. I've put salt and vinegar on. Cornflakes for tomorrow morning. And your milk. I don't suppose you've got a fridge, have you?
Don't talk to him, Elaine.
Right. Your Catherine Cookson and a bottle of barley wine from me dad. And he says, will he be back for bingo on Friday or should he go by himself?
Tell him I'll give him a ring.
Right. I'll see you tomorrow then. Excuse me.
Thought you'd got me, didn't you? I'll show you crime doesn't pay.
Stop! Mrs. Foster, you have taken one step too many. Your tactics may succeed with the conscience-stricken, but I stand before you panoplied in innocence, secure in the armour of the blameless. As Dryden has it, without unspotted, innocent within.
Oh, lovely.
And you wanted me to buy her off, and we've got...
Now, who will rid us of this turbulent policy holder, eh? The fire brigade, wasn't it?
Fancy yourself in the news of the world, do you?
I have nothing to fear from the Sunday papers, madam.
Oh, no. From my experience, most fellas have got something incriminating hidden away.
Well, not me, Mrs. Foster, not me. Search to your heart's content. You are dealing with one who has no fear of exposing himself to his fellow men.
Like that.
Could you put me through to the workhouse, please? Reservations.
Oh.